Cursor is one of the most popular AI code editors out there that can help you code 10 times faster if you know how to use it correctly. And if you give me just a couple minutes in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Cursor to become a more effective programmer. I'll also be going over some of the newer features of Cursor that were released just last week in June of 2025, including integrations with MCP servers and a little bit of BugBot. So if you're a software engineer or a computer science student and you're new to a lot of these AI tools, then this video is right for you. So I'm going to assume you already have Cursor downloaded and installed and that you have an account set up. So when you open up the Cursor desktop app, to open up the chat window, you can press Control-I or Command-I to open up this chat window right here. You can view your past chats as well. And I wanted to show you these three specific modes. You have Agent, Ask, and Manual. The Ask mode is essentially just like using ChatGPT on your code base where you can ask it questions and get quick responses. And this is by far the fastest mode. However, Manual mode is like Ask, but then you can also make changes to your code and you can specify certain files that are added for context. And then Agent mode is the slowest, but is the most automatic mode out of the three, where it'll actually reprompt itself over and over again until it thinks it's done with the task. And we're going to start with Agent mode because Agent mode is generally the best for creating new code bases like we're about to do right now. I pasted in a prompt of essentially just making a ChatGPT clone and then using specifically the OpenAI API, Tailwind, and Typescript to make it a web-based app with these designs. And what I can also do that's pretty neat is paste in an image of ChatGPT right here. And then when it's creating the app, it'll have more context to stylize how the web app looks like. And then as I'm going through the agent mode, sometimes it'll ask you for permission to run commands or do certain things from which you'll just need to accept. So we'll see how the agent works right here. So after making a couple tweaks and adding in my API key, we can see that the app is running live right here. And if I just do a sample prompt, you can see that it streams text, or I can ask it any question that I want. And you can see compared to the reference image that I gave it, is that Cursor did a pretty decent job, and I know you can get differing results depending on what you do, and your mileage may vary. So that was how to use the chat window. Let me show you the second main feature of Cursor, which is the inline editing feature. So let's say I have this function right here, and I want to add some documentation to it. I could highlight it and add it to chat and ask it to add documentation to it. But an even faster way is to just use my keyboard and select the function and press Control-K or Command-K if you're on Mac to open up the quick inline edit tool. From here, I can add in my prompt and then it'll actually make the changes inline to the file itself and then add in the text right here. And then I can choose whether to accept or reject it, and I'll accept it here. And inline editing is super useful, but another third really important feature of Cursor is the tab autocomplete. And this is a lot smarter than a tab autocomplete that you would see in VS Code or in a Copilot. For example, let's say we have the sample Python file, and I just want to test out the OpenAI API. The OpenAI API. What I can do here is I can start by typing in the client, and then it'll know to add that in here, and I can do let's say, for example, client.chatCompletion.create, and then press tab a second time, and then it'll automatically print a good estimate of what it thinks the responses are. This is very useful for just creating tests or creating code that just needs to be created quick to test something out. So the chat window, the inline editing, and the tab autocomplete are the three key features that drive most of the usage of Cursor for software development. Now, an important example that I want to show using these is debugging. Because most of the job of a software engineer is not necessarily writing code, it's debugging broken code. So let's do an example with the app that we just created. Let's say I remove this async statement and it's going to cause some errors. If I open up right here the app, it's not going to tell me what's wrong. It's going to say that await is only valid, but what's bad about this is it's also not even telling me where in the code this is located in. It's telling me it's located in next static chunks, but those are packages. That's not going to help me. So if I know where in the code the problem is, it's best to just use the inline editor or the tab autocomplete. So here, if I knew in advance that it was on line 39, I could just roughly get around where it is and I can just say fix with the error. But since we don't know where the code or the error is, we can just add it to our chat window, which has the whole context of the code base. And if I roughly know that it must be in one of my components, I can just select the context window here, and I can select the one that says chat, maybe chat messages, cursor. I can select any of these files or folders as context. And then when I ask the agent the issue, hopefully it's able to find it. And as you see here, this is a pretty simple bug to fix. It was likely just a mistype, but you can ask it to apply the fix here, and then you can either accept or reject it depending on whether you think it'll fix it. But we can just accept it right there, fix it, and then the app is back to running. However, another cool debugging feature that Cursor released is called BugBot. And BugBot essentially is like the agent, but it automatically reviews a pull request on GitHub. So what I did was I made some code breaking changes that officially just break the app right here. And then when I've made a pull request, or when I make a pull request, what I can do is create the pull request, and then what I have Cursor set up so that BugBot automatically reviews the code like here, and then after a couple minutes or so, it should give me an error or a warning. Now, BugBot I'm pretty sure is still in beta, and I'm not able to actually get it to find the code, but there's this video that someone else made where they actually do have an example of BugBot actually making the code review right here. So he purposely made a bug that commented out some important code, and BugBot was able to find it, and you can press fix in Cursor right there. This is how it's supposed to look like. But again, BugBot is still in beta. As of June 2025, BugBot is still in beta, and by the time you're watching this video, it's probably out and working now. Another really cool feature of Cursor is its ability to actually edit commands in the terminal. So let's say I open up the terminal here, and similar to the inline editor, we can press Control K or Command K to open up the prompt window, and then I can then ask it a question. It'll add its response after my cursor, and then we can actually run the code. And what it did was, I think it found the number of TypeScript files to be 2,843 in my whole code base, and it answered the prompt correctly. Like I mentioned earlier with BugBot, another recently added feature of Cursor is its access to MCP servers. And there are tons of MCP servers that have been added support for recently. And what we're going to do is we're going to select Firecrawl, which is essentially just a web scraper. In a lot of the installation instructions on the GitHubs, you'll see this JSON that you're just gonna essentially copy paste into. I already have mine set up with the API key, so I'm just gonna go into Cursor, and then what you'll do is you'll go to the chat settings, then you'll go to MCP tools and add custom MCP. Then you'll see this empty JSON. From here, you'll add in your MCP server, or you'll add it to your other ones that you have. Next, you should see in your Cursor settings, you might have to refresh it a bit, but you'll see that the tools are enabled from Cursor in this MCP tools section. So what I can do in the chat window, I can ask it to actually scrape this website for me, and hopefully with the word scrape, it'll actually call the MCP tool, the Firecrawl search, where we can enable and run. And then when we call it, we'll be able to see that it's actually gonna run and summarize the key points like so. All in all, Cursor is a pretty impressive tool, but that's only because I as a developer know how to use it properly, and I know specifically which commands to ask it for. I wouldn't recommend Cursor or Copilot if you're just going to vibe code your way into an app. I would recommend instead using a low-code platform like Lovable or N8N. That said, as we saw in a few examples, Cursor is still in development and still has some fragility to it, as with most AI tools out there. LLMs are non-deterministic, and you'll often get very different results than what you see in the perfectly polished demos. That said, Cursor also has a main competitor called GitHub Copilot, which I also have a video showcasing as well if you want to watch it and compare between the two and then decide on which one you want to buy. I'll link that in the description below. But I would say the main difference between Cursor and Copilot is that Cursor is generally more for open source developers, indie developers, startups, or small companies, whereas Copilot is more for enterprises or large companies, especially large companies that already have a Microsoft license to them. And I think Copilot has a bit more security to it. And if you like this video and you want to watch more videos on how these AI tools are used, as well as how apps use AI, you can check out the rest of my channel as well. And I think you'll find it very cool.